Meanwhile, the party list cleansing by the COMELEC is still underway, and joining us tonight is COMELEC spokesman Jimenez to give us an update on this process. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So with regards to the party list cleansing process, where are we now?
Well, recently we accredited 5 party list organizations, 2 at first, and then we added another 3 very recently. So right now we have 5 accredited party lists, but we're still going on with the cleansing process, which means that we still expect to see some disqualifications over the next few days. We hope to finish this entire process, this entire weeding out process, by the end of the month. This will pave the way for our preparations for the ballots this coming December.
So what is the tally right now in terms of those accredited and those still undergoing the disqualification process?
Well, like I said, we have 5 accredited groups now, and about close to 100 have been disqualified already, with a little under 100 left to go. So as of now, it seems like the disqualified party list organizations vastly outnumber those that are getting their accreditations.
So with regards to this, what in particular are you looking into with regards to requirements and for a particular party list to either be disqualified or accredited?
Well, the main thing is whether or not they represent a marginalized or underrepresented sector. If they do, then their accreditation is pretty much a sure thing, except that for the most part we've been seeing groups that do not actually represent marginalized sectors, so they have been falling one after the other.
So with regards to the issue of a party list group, a member, a candidate being part of being a millionaire, is that still an issue being looked at?
Well, it really depends on what sector he claims to represent. If a person claims to represent, say for instance, the urban poor, then it would be rather, inappropriate if he were himself a multimillionaire. So only insofar as situations like that arise do we actually look at the financial status. Remember, at the bottom of all of this, we have to remember there are no property requirements for people to run for public office, which means to say the law is practically blind whether or not a person is rich or poor. Again, with the exception of the inappropriateness of having a rich man represent the very poor.
So you said a while ago that you still have to look into about 100 more party list groups, yes, whether to either disqualify or accredit them. Do we have any numbers with regards to how many from this will be disqualified?
Well, I guess about at least 40% of them will be disqualified. We're looking to see about 150 party list organizations ending up on the ballot in 2013. It could be lower than that, but I sincerely doubt it would be higher than 150.
So with this cleansing process ongoing, what in the future for next elections, are we looking at any more stricter requirements, programs, so that the process will be stricter, so we won't get any more those that have ran before who won and now are being disqualified?
Right. The hope really is that this establishes the new and definitive standard for what it takes to participate in the party list system of elections. We hope that because we are being very strict here, then others who come in the future will realize that this is not a thing to be trifled with, that the party list elections are a very serious matter, and that they are definitely dedicated to the welfare of the marginalized and underrepresented.
So what happens now? There's still those party list groups that have filed cases with the Supreme Court being disqualified. What's the process now for that?
Well, recently the Supreme Court issued a status quo ante order in the case filed by the party list group Ako Bicol against the COMELEC, and what that means is that we cannot prevent their name from showing up on the ballot. But since we're not really preparing the ballot as yet, then pretty much we're all waiting and see how the Supreme Court will decide the main case. But for now, again, they will not be removed from the ballot.
So you were saying a while ago that the process will end by the end of this month. Do you think you have time to look into the 100 party list groups left that you need to look into?
Oh, absolutely. The Commission on Bank, they've been discussing this matter almost every day from morning till afternoon. And so we're very confident that we'll reach the target.
So with regards to the next year's elections, there's still a bit of confusion. We were talking a while ago regarding the biometrics.
Right.
Those that say if they don't have biometrics, they won't be able to vote in the in next elections. Could you give us at least a brief overview of what this implementation would be?
Yes. The most important thing really about biometrics is that you have to remember that after 2013, it is possible that if you don't have your biometrics enrolled in the system, which means to say you're a registered voter, but you haven't had biometrics taken yet, then you may not be able to vote. However, this is the case in 2013. In 2013, with or without biometrics, if you are a registered voter, then you will be definitely able to vote.
So how many registered voters do we have in tally right now?
Right now, we're looking at about 47 million, but we expect that with all of the other registrants coming in very, very late, like almost towards the deadline, we expect to have about 50 million by 2013.
Does that include absentee votees?
Absentee voters are a different tally altogether. As far as absentee voters are concerned, we have about 941,000 applicants, and hopefully that will translate to an equally high number of actual voters when that time comes.
So now that the midterm elections is nearing, what other preparations or programs are being done by the COMELEC to ensure the security of next year's elections?
Well, just this morning we had a command conference with the Philippine National Police, during which time they gave us their security assessment of the Philippines as a whole. This will guide us in implementation of, this is very important, the gun ban. The gun ban will go into effect January next year, and what that does is that it prevents people from carrying their firearms around without a special exemption from the COMELEC. We intend to be very strict with the gun ban. We intend to make sure that there are no loose firearms as much as we can manage through partnerships with the AFP and the PNP specifically, through the establishment of checkpoints, and just all around good enforcement of the gun ban. We hope that with fewer loose firearms around, then we will see a decrease in the number of election-related violent incidents.
So in light of that, do we already have the tally of the areas which are considered hotspots, and what kind of security measures are going to be put in place to ensure that those in those areas will be safe, not only residents but also let's say teachers who will be helping during these elections?
Well, we don't call them hotspots anymore. We call them areas of concern. Okay. And so far, really are the 15 provinces identified by the PNP, and yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, released by the DILG secretary. So we're going from that, and then, like I said, this morning we had a command conference with the PNP, during which Chairman Brillantes asked to be kept abreast of these developments. As you know, the identification of areas of concern really is a function of the Philippine National Police. They're the ones with the threat assessment capabilities. They're the ones who are on the ground. So they're the ones who identify these things, and they share them with us. So far, we only have the 15, and we have several other command conferences lined up, during which we will determine how best to maintain safety and security for our voters.
So any programs underway to make sure that when the voting begins, the voters know where to vote, how to vote?
Certainly. We have stakeholder education programs that are coming online right now. We have information campaigns that have kicked off already, and basically all of these campaigns is to provide information for the voter so that on election day he knows exactly where to vote, how to vote, and perhaps, if we're lucky, what the best times to vote are.
So with regards to the PCOS machines, what is the COMELEC doing right now to ensure that these machines are secured, will not be hacked, or anything like that?
The PCOS machines, they are actually just finishing up with the hardware testing, and we'll be loading them with software very soon. And we hope to conduct mock elections early next year. What we expect to see from the PCOS is that as in 2010, the security system will be very good. It will be on a virtual private network, meaning to say it won't be on the regular internet, so it will be very, very difficult to find for hackers or people who have that sort of inclination. And of course, the security system is still banking grade, which means to say that we will be using the same level of security which is used by online banks.
security of those cards where the data will be placed?
Well, those cards are part of the whole security package. They're not a separate element. They're part of the entire preparation. So whatever security preparations we have for the rest of the machines, the same will apply to those cards. We believe that with our new project management scheme, we will avoid problems that cropped up in 2010.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us tonight on NewsLife. That was COMELEC spokesman James Jimenez. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.